How's everybody doing? It's a beautiful afternoon here in Kentucky. I believe it's April the 26th. I believe maybe the 25th, 26th. Anyways, out here in the pumpkin patch. So this is not the high maintenance patch, what I'm calling it. This is my traditional patch here. If you look around, this is what I've done in the years past here. So only difference is this year, I've taken 2,400 square feet. Instead of having 3 plants, I'm gonna do 2 plants. So these are gonna be hopefully some massive plants. So I'm going to, only type of weed bear I'm putting in here is I'm gonna do like a 3-foot piece down the main vine. I'm fixing to show you my plants here. I got them in the ground. I eventually just had to put them in the ground a little bit early. I mean, they're fine now. I actually put them in 3 days ago. So something's going on with my potting soil. I have no idea what's going on. I'll show you some of the leaves here in a minute. Some of them are kind of wonky. Almost looks like some 2,4-D damage, but I promise you there hasn't been any 2,4-D sprayed anywhere near here. Well, that I know of anyways, but still, these plants are literally been inside, a little bit outside, but they've been up next to the house porch, and there's nothing around here has been sprayed yet. So I don't know. I think it's actually in the potting soil. Even the ones I had inside started doing it. So it's definitely not that unless it's in the soil itself. But let me show you here. So not everything came up. I got about 80% germ. All my 1989 Delitis, they none of them, actually all 3 of them popped, did the exact same thing. There's no vigor left in them at all. They just stalled out after they opened up. The cotyledons never got big. I was into that. My 2493 Wolf, it's at the house still. I have not planted it. It only had 1 cotyledon and it's way behind all the others. I'll show you it possibly here in a minute. But I'll show you the first batch here. So here is 2 we got going. On this side right here, we have the 1707 Caspers. I'll show you a close-up of it in just a second. And right here we have 1935 Ford. You haven't seen that one planted very much. It's gone 2,000 pounders, but also it's a beautiful orange pumpkin. So I'm looking forward to maybe planting that one as well. I'm leaning towards the 1707. Yes, I know it's bad to have 2 sitting back to back that you don't know, 2 different genetics, but I didn't have doubles of anything. So I only had one 1935 Ford and only had one of the 1707. So wasn't wrong with the 1707, but here's a little bit going on with it. You can kind of tell how wonky this here looks. This one for sure looks like it's been overfed or something. And even the new leaves are kind of bubbled up. I have given them nothing but Azos and some Wallace mycorrhiza. Here's the 1935 Ford. You can see here, look at that. That almost looks like 2,4-D a little bit around the edges. I don't know. First leaf looks a little bit better. This third one coming on here, it's still a little bit wonky, a little bit kind of weird. I think they are starting to come out of it, whatever it was. All right, backside here, these plants are about 5 days younger. These are both 1686 Stelzes. I had 3 of these seeds. I did all 3. 1 did not germ. And then 2 here. 1 looks good, 1 already looks bad. So I think this one's gonna be a no-brainer, honestly, but you never know. So here they are. All right, both of them. Good looking plants. All right, this one looks better than the other one. Looking around it. And then of course here is this one. You can see right away there's something about that first true leaf that just ain't right on that one right there at all. So who knows? All right, but we're getting going here. Same deal. I'm going to do a 3-foot runner down the main vine and let this sucker eat as much as it wants. So trying to get a pollination, you know, I don't know, first 2 weeks of June, and hopefully get one about 13, 14, 16 feet out there. And it takes, my problem is once I set everything, and I suggest if you're new to this, you set everything as well, because you only watch these guys like, well, I'm gonna set one out here at 16 feet because that's the one I want. They cut off the ones before. Some guys can do that and they have no problem with it at all. Other guys, like me anyways, I'll pollinate everything, because a lot of times I'm 50-50 on getting one pollinated, because it might be 95 degrees with a humidity of 110 when I'm trying to pollinate, or just simply the plant's under stress, whatever it is, and it does not take for whatever reason. So I say pollinate everything. I even pollinate them if it's 9 feet, pollinate it, because you never know, that might be the one. And I've grown 1,300 pound pumpkins on 9 feet out. Actually, I had my biggest one I had several years ago was 1,285 pounds, and it was only 9 feet out with only, I think, like, I want to say 11 secondaries behind it. So, and it grew that, and it stopped still 70 days. So still, you can do it. All right, I'm gonna close these back up real quick. Hoop houses here, and pretty much what I do with my hoop houses They're just pretty simple, just that A-frame. Then I cut a hole right here. Once the things are frosted over with, if I do have a frost, I'll come out here, take a blanket, and I'll cover the whole thing up and kind of put some bricks around it. But I'll leave that hole, and it stays like a good 10 to 15 degrees warmer in there. If you guys, I do have like an 89 degree day, 9-degree day anyways here in the spring before I let them out. I will lift them up and I'll crack the bottom about that much around the edges and it'll be fine. So that's just what I do, and it seems to work well for me. So hopefully they start taking off here very, very soon. I'll close this one down as well. Oh, I got some extra PVC around the side there to hold them in place. Supposed to have some 30-mile-per-hour winds tomorrow, so I'll probably do something a little extra. This one, we'll like to see here. So this one right here, right here has heating cables. This one here does not. So I want to see heating cables, no heating cables, and we'll see if we can see any difference in growth. So I know this one, right, the one, the heating cables are already a little bit ahead, but we'll see. So I've seen some major differences, but we've had a warm spring, and I think honestly, I can't tell a whole big difference with the heating cables. You know, I think it may have been a colder year it would have. This year, not really. I touched my hand on the ground both sides, and it honestly feels exactly the same. So let me walk down here to the patch, and I'll be right back with you guys. One sec. All right, here we go. This is a patch number 2, what I call the high maintenance patch, and you can see why, because it's going to be a lot of maintenance. All right. I've already kind of shown in previous videos my watering system, the drip irrigation underneath of the weed fabric, and then here's my 2 plants. Here's both of these right here, both 2144 Barons. These right here I'm excited about. These are, I believe, are some honestly, I thought before planting them these are going to be great seeds, but they've outdone everything up to this point. Actually, these ones I've already come out of whatever that funk was I showed you on the other ones, and these ones are taking off. So a little bit already, they're not crazy ahead, but they are looking in general just better. Okay, let me show you real quick here. So same setup, same hoop house, whole deal. Let me flip them up here if we can here in a second. Oh. All right, flip that over. Hope the wind don't get that. But here you go, both 2144 Barons, and I have cut individual holes for each one right there, and they are growing. They're both almost identical. This one over here looks a little bit better, just because that first true leaf isn't funky like this one right here. Like I said, I had that funk, whatever that stuff is going on, but those new leaves coming on, they look gorgeous. So I'm excited. We'll start running these things out. Of course, right through here, the main vine's gonna go. And then for every single leaf node, a lot of guys are doing this and have done it. I'm not the first one by any means. I'm gonna cut individual holes. Now my problem is I have drip irrigation underneath. And I think like Jacob Marinser, I believe, also does the exact same thing or something similar. I'm not 100% sure, but it's gonna be a lot of work. Tremendous amount of work. I'm gonna cull this down to 1 when they get a couple feet long here, and we're gonna rock and roll. One thing I have seen that is kind of scaring me a little bit, that might change my mind about this, and I might end up doing something a little different. It is not drying out underneath at all. So everything around here right now, like outside here, watch out Zeke, this is powder dry. All of this, you kind of see everything's powder dry. It hasn't rained here in a little while. I even go to the ends here. Let me show you. Sorry about the camera work. It is not going real well the way I got this set up. Powder dry. It's actually rock hard. All right, let me take you over here real quick. Let's flip the section up. Oh, get down on these knees here. Give me 1 second. Look underneath. It is wet, and I have not ran anything. Look at that. All right, right now it's not too bad, but if we get a bunch of rain, I mean, I don't know what that right there is going to do, but there's nothing like that anywhere else outside of this. And I said, we're kind of dry right now, and this is holding a lot of moisture in. I just don't see myself watering a whole bunch at all, which means I can't get a lot of nutrients in there. It'd be great if we have a real dry summer. Boom, this is the ticket. But if we have a wet one, it's going to turn into I think just a mess of disease and rot is what it's going to do. So you all might see me here coming up during the season. Instead of me cutting individual holes, I might end up actually, what I'm thinking is folding back the weed matting as the pumpkin grows, and basically use it as like just to take out the weeds, okay? Or prevent them for now, and then fold it all back I don't know yet. This might work out great, but again, I'm not in a controlled environment in the greenhouse, so I can't tell you if it's going to work or not, honestly. It's an experiment. That's what we're doing here. So outdoor with the drip irrigation in a very humid climate. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, here's everything. It looks beautiful. I love it. I'm gonna put a wind fence up around this one and the other garden. Just haven't got to it yet. I really don't need it just yet with the 2 houses, but it's coming, and we'll keep rocking and rolling from there. So looking forward to see you guys' videos. I think seasons, everybody's in that kind of lull right now, like getting ready to get going, if they're not already going, and it's gonna be exciting. So see you guys soon. Southern Pumpkin Grower out. Have a good one, guys.